not do this series without our incredible sponsors. So a big shout out to San Diego County Credit Union, the Observatory, West Coast Tavern, Asana Partners, A7D Creative Group, and McFarland Promotions.
It's not big bank banking, it's better. SDCCU is a not-for-profit financial institution focused on people helping people and giving back to our customers and the community with low or no fees, low rates on loans, competitive rates on deposits, innovative technologies, and support for local nonprofits. SDCCU.com. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
Hey everyone, I'm Coco San Diego, your host and MC of the San Diego County Credit Union's virtual series of Festival of Art, and I'm here with Salpi and Mariah here over at Holsem Coffee, and we've got some awesome recipes we're going to go over today, so hopefully you picked up your kits so you guys can follow along as well. But before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about both of yourselves and how Holsem started and where you're located and such.
Okay. So my name is Salpi. I'm the owner here at Holsem. We've been open here for almost 6 years. It's gone by so fast. We are located in North Park, and we are obsessed with this neighborhood. I started my history, or my background in coffee, is I started with a coffee cart in the neighborhood, and I love this area. I love the community. I love the clientele. So once I sold my coffee cart business, I knew that I wanted to open my cafe here. And we were lucky enough to find this beautiful space right in front of the North Park sign. And we opened for business. And our philosophy here is to use all natural ingredients with our drinks. And we make all of our syrups and everything in-house. We use the best ingredients that we could find, organic as much as possible. In our drinks, we use non-refined sugars and natural items like honey and maple syrup. And we opt to have the sugar as a separate ingredient in our drink, just so that people can have the option to go no sugar or less sugar. And that's it. You know, it's using all natural ingredients. One of our specialties right now for the season is making our pumpkin syrup. And of course, we make it in-house. We use maple syrup in it and spices, and that's what I'm going to show you today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Mariah?
Yes, so I have been a barista here at Holsem now for about 2 years. It's been absolutely amazing. One of my favorite jobs, 100%. Before this is actually my first coffee job, which has been really exciting. So I've learned so much about craft coffee and becoming a barista and, you know, everything that goes into it. And so I was so grateful that, you know, I got to start working here, being the first coffee job, learned so much about the roasting, because we actually roast in-house as well. And so learning that process and everything that goes into, you know, craft coffee. So it's been amazing, and I just moved into North Park too, so now like Holsem has become our home, and it's been so fun kind of doing everything like pumpkin and learning all this stuff about that for fall drinks. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I live here in North Park too, so I come here often, which it's there's so many great coffee shops in North Park that it's always like, I feel like I gotta rotate to like
for sure.
do my due diligence and spread it around. But I do love your colada cold brew.
That one's good, and
It's
that one
so
is really
good.
popular.
It's popular, yes it is.
It's a good
Well,
one.
I love everything coconut, hence cocoa. No, not only because of that, but I just love anything kind of coconut, and it's so good and refreshing and not too sweet, but also the banana one. I mean, I could go on for days of all the different cold brews I love here, but today we're gonna get to try pumpkin, right? Cold brew?
Yep.
Awesome.
Cold brew.
So why don't we first start with, we're gonna make the pumpkin syrup.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm going to make it for you guys here.
Awesome.
So this is a really easy recipe, and what makes our version special is the fact that we use really high quality organic pumpkin puree, and we actually use a mix of whole spices and ground spices. That's kind of unique. Most recipes are all ground or all whole. For us, the spices that are a little bit stronger on your palate, the cinnamon and the clove, we opted to use whole. It's a little bit more of a subtle flavor when you're actually cooking it. And if you have experience cooking with cinnamon in any sort of liquid, it gets a little bit slimy. So using the sticks actually makes a big difference.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start with, well, let's turn our oven on, or the stove top. So you wanna have this on medium heat, not too high. You're gonna start with 3 cups of water. I have this all measured out, so it's easy to go. You're gonna use 3 cups of maple. This portion size should actually last you the entire season. You can use it in a bunch of drinks. This is actually a lot, but if you wanted to cut this recipe down, just split it in half.
We always have to make such large portions since we go through the pumpkin syrup all the time.
Oh, I bet.
Exactly. So this is 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree. I'm gonna drop in 8 cinnamon sticks, 2 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, which is right here. 3 teaspoons of ground ginger. We like to add a lot of ginger. We like the spice. It really kicks up the rest of the flavors. And then 1 1/2 teaspoon of whole clove. If you do decide you wanted to use ground clove, that's fine. Just cut that down to 2 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove. Again, the clove flavor is very strong. It will literally numb your tongue. So we opt for the whole version. And that's it, guys. It's really easy. So we stir it up. You can also do this with regular sugar if you don't want to use maple. Just use the same portion size, so 3 cups of sugar. All right?
So good.
So you want to give it a good stir. Use a whisk so you could kind of break up the ground spices. And you want to let this simmer till it gets to kind of a slow boil. That's it. It basically just needs to heat up just to kind of mesh the flavors together. And that's about it. After this, then you want to strain it through a fine mesh strainer. And I would recommend putting that in a glass container or whatever, heat-proof container, and then putting it straight in the fridge. You want it to fully cool before you use it in your drinks. And
Can
that's
I
it.
smell it?
Go ahead. Yeah.
It smells like fall.
Yeah.
It's so funny. We
good.
were at a somewhere with my husband, and everything he says I say this all the time, but I'm like, oh, that would be a great candle. Like beer,
yeah.
like wines, like
That's so
yeah.
smart,
I
yeah.
smell something like that'd be a great candle. But
Yeah.
that really would be. That is a
Oh,
candle
yeah.
I have smelled.
Yeah.
That's
We
probably
do
a
have
pink
ours.
We
We
do,
have ours
yeah.
burning over here, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like pumpkin and just a reminder of the season.
Totally.
You
Yeah,
know?
and it makes you always want it too, because like when you smell it, you're like, wow, pumpkin sounds really good. I
Yeah.
should make one.
Exactly.
And now you can in your own home.
That was Mariah's idea.
I
So
love
we're
it.
selling a lot of pumpkin
Yes,
lattes
yeah.
right
Oh,
now.
I
Yes, we
bet.
are.
Well, pumpkin is all the rage, so I get
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So this
Yes.
is this syrup that we just kind of made is going to be in the kits, right?
Yes, actually in the kit, you're gonna get a little bottle just like this, along with a couple of chocolate biscotti and a couple cups of oat or whole milk of your choice, and then cold brew, Holsem blend cold brew. And Mariah's actually gonna make that drink for you guys today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So before we go over there,
Yeah.
how long can you keep this for? Like, is it good for a week, a couple weeks?
Oh, this syrup will last a couple months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just keep it
Okay.
in the fridge. Keep it in the
Keep it in the
fridge,
fridge.
you're good to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
next we're making a pumpkin cold brew.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a cold
this
brew
one,
fan, so I'm very
yes,
excited.
It's so good. Okay. So first, of course, it's going to be the same exact pumpkin syrup that we use. So you're just going to do your cold brew here. Actually, can I use your water container for
Yeah,
the little jigger? Of
course.
Thank you so much.
So let's talk cold brew really
Yeah,
quick.
100%.
So how, if I were making it at home, how do you suggest making a good cold brew?
So I would say for sure, like it always depends too, because you want to, like as far as the beans as well, it always depends on the roast that you want. So we use this is our Holsem blend, so this is actually a dark roast that we use. And we do ours too for 24 hours, but it kind of just depends on like what you want. Like if you want chocolatey kind of cold brew or something creamy, that's like our Holsem blend, and that's going to be the dark roast. You can do like a medium roast or a light roast. The light roast is going to be a lot more fruity. It's going to be a lot more light. So it kind of just depends on like what you want as far as the beans that you want.
Okay.
And then yeah, you just grind the beans. Also, it depends on that. Like for us, we do a very coarse grind for cold brew because it does sit for 24 hours. So yeah, it kind of just depends, and like how strong you want it and whatnot. Kind of all goes into it. So, and again, this is going to be the Holsem one. This is the oat milk. You can use whole milk though, whatever milk you'd like. Oat milk's my favorite though, so that's why we're using that one today.
So we put 4 ounces of cold brew.
4 ounce of cold brew, 4 ounce of whichever milk. You can do whole milk, oat milk, you can do almond milk. Yeah, we use the Califia oat milk, which is my favorite. And then you do the syrup. Oh, actually, can I use one of the syrups? I just realized we don't have.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. So literally what you will have, this is what you will be using. Perfect. So you're going to do 2 ounces of this guy. And again, you can always make it more sweet, less sweet, kind of like however you would want it. We definitely want a strong pumpkin flavor, so that's why we do that much in there. And then we are going to shake it on up. Get any ice here.
We opt to shake it over ice, but you don't really have to. You can just throw it in the cup, stir it up, and add ice.
Great.
I recently got one of those, like, I guess it is a frother, but I use it to mix things.
Is it like an electric
Yeah.
frother?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually really convenient.
Oh, yeah. It changes the flavor. It kind of
It
makes it
does.
creamy.
Yeah.
And then you just shake it, do a little shake. Woo. You can do, so this is going to be a mixture of like cinnamon and nutmeg. You can do whatever spice. If you like it really spicy, nutmeg is going to be a little bit more spicy. You can do more cinnamon, more nutmeg, like kind of however you want to do it. This is it.
Oh,
this
I'm gonna
is
try
our,
it.
yes, go for it. Got some cinnamon
So
on
this
it.
is the drink that you will be making with your party pack.
Oh, that's yummy.
And this one too, I really like to use, like if you're making your own cold brew at home, with the pumpkin one, a dark roast goes really well with it because it makes it super creamy. And if you have a fruity flavor, you know, it might change the flavor a little bit. So that's why we use our wholesome dark roast with that one. So yeah, that's our cold brew. Same pumpkin syrup that you'll be making as well. And you can, you know, get cold brew somewhere else or kind of make your own cold brew at home as well.
I like
Yes.
it 'cause it's lighter. You know how
Yeah.
sometimes some of the pumpkin, like, some pumpkin stuff can be so intense.
Yeah.
Pumpkin, I'm like, can you just tone it back just a little? Like this
Yeah.
tastes fresh.
Well, I
sure.
think the difference is because it's all natural and it's homemade and
Yeah.
you're using real pumpkin, it's not like a flavored syrup. A lot of
Right.
places use Monin and Tarani, and that's an artificial pumpkin
Yeah.
flavor. That's why it's so intense and so sugary. This is real pumpkin, you
Yeah.
know, so it is subtle, but it does have a lot of pumpkin in it.
It
Yeah.
reminds
Yeah.
me of my Oma makes when she makes her Oma's grandma.
Wait, I've heard that. I've heard Oma and there's like another one, but is that German?
Oma and Opa is German.
German.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she makes a pumpkin, but she uses kind of half of the sugar. So I like it too because it's not over the top. It's like perfect, refreshing, and good. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
it. That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So the next one that we're going to make is the pumpkin latte, which you can order at Holsem now. So this one is going to have the same exact pumpkin syrup here. And usually, of course, like if I had my barista bar, I would steam the milk for you. So I'm just going to kind of show you how to do it without that.
Now, what type of milks do you guys offer here? I know milks are
Yes.
popular.
We offer whole, low-fat, non-fat, also Califia almond milk, and the most popular now has become the Califia oat milk. And that's
It's
our
so
house
good.
favorite.
It's so good.
It's funny how oat milk all of a
Yeah.
sudden out of nowhere
I
came
know.
in. And
Honestly.
it's, like,
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because like for me, you know, a lot of people do get almond milk, but for me it changes the flavor a little bit because it is a little bit nutty, but a lot of people actually like it.
Yeah.
So the reason why I like oat though is because I'm pescatarian, so I don't drink milk all the time. And so for me, like the oat milk is still super creamy and it still kind of tastes as if you are
Yeah.
drinking whole milk without actually doing
Yeah.
it. And I actually think it's
Exactly.
even creamier. So some people that can drink whole milk actually get the oat milk because it makes it creamier.
Yeah.
It does. It
Which
has a
not
thicker-
everyone wants that,
yeah,
but it's really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
And it foams well. I feel like
Yeah.
my
It
almond milk
does.
always is like flat.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You haven't been a barista unless you spill. So
I love it.
that always goes into it.
Oh,
Should
yeah.
have brought a towel, that's okay. Okay, perfect. So I just put in the pumpkin syrup that you will have, the shot of espresso, and then it's going to be with the milk here. So this would typically be steamed. I obviously don't have the station to do that. But yeah, it'll be steamed as for like a latte. You could also do this iced if you would like. So this would be steamed milk that you would put into here. And it's going to be about 8 ounces, depending on how much.
Would you make a little latte art?
Yes. It's so hard too,
yeah.
you know, because right now with COVID, we're doing everything to go at the moment.
Yeah.
And so everything, I have to put a lid on it every time. And
Yeah.
it's so sad. So like,
Yeah.
if we're slow and I have time, I'll always like try to do a little tulip in there. But I miss doing art so much,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah, and then you can also, same thing, you can sprinkle with nutmeg or cinnamon, and you just sprinkle it on top. It'll give that extra spice if you would like. So that's gonna be the pumpkin latte. So it's espresso, you're gonna have the pumpkin syrup that you're gonna make, and then milk. You could even do a cappuccino, so if you want less milk. And yeah, so that's good. And I believe you will get espresso, our Holsem espresso, in the package as well, the kit. So that's gonna be amazing.
Awesome.
You can taste it, but
Yes.
it's not going to necessarily be froth milk.
That's
it might taste a
okay.
little different, but you'll still get the idea.
I'm not
It'll
picky.
still,
I just love my caffeine. So.
yes, there you go, perfect.
That's really
Right?
Yeah.
Not yummy.
Right? And it's really good
So
with
good.
the espresso. So it's actually the same dark roast that we use as well.
Yeah, that's
so,
really good.
Yeah, same thing if you're doing espresso. If you have an espresso machine, you can do all different kinds of roasts, which is exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's look over here though, because this
Yeah.
thing is simmering away.
Uh-huh.
And so how long do we simmer this for?
Actually, I just turned it off. It started bubbling, and once it starts bubbling, that's it. It's done. Yeah.
Okay. And then do you
Yeah.
let it cool and then kind of pour it?
No,
Or
I mean, well, you can let it cool if you don't want to. I mean, typically we strain it right away, but if you don't want to deal with dumping hot liquid through a strainer,
yeah.
you could let it cool. You just don't want it to completely cool and have the spices sort of solidify
Yeah.
before you can strain it. So maybe let it cool for about 10 minutes and then strain it through a fine mesh strainer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And now we have our third drink,
Perfect.
right?
Yes. This is
Yes.
when we start to have the real fun.
Yeah.
Because this is the one where we, at nighttime, or at 8 a.m., hey, no judgment, but this is the pumpkin espresso martini.
Yes.
So this is one of my favorites, of course, because, I don't know, it's super fun. And this is honestly also a very great example of like you can use the pumpkin syrup literally for anything.
Yeah.
Like it goes with vodka, you know, you can do it with coffee, you can do it as a steamer, like for your kids. Like you can literally use this for so many things. For baking, you can do pumpkin cookies, pumpkin brownies, however. So it's so versatile, which is exciting. But my favorite one, yes, is the martini. Sorry for the little spill there.
Pretty glass.
Okay,
I know.
perfect.
Already I thought I could put this in my oatmeal.
Yeah, no, literally.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
Salpi had mentioned that.
Yeah.
And we, our other owner, Munna, had actually done the overnight oats
Yeah.
with it, which I've never had overnight oats before. But
Oh, so good.
tasting it with
Yeah.
the pumpkin, I was like, this is a game
Yeah,
changer.
it's
Like, you can
amazing.
literally add it to anything.
Yes.
It's
I
amazing.
love that.
Yeah. Okay, so this one here is going to be, we're going to do 2 ounces of that. Should have thought of it later. Usually we have like a water spray thing, so I can't really rinse it out there. But okay, so 2 ounces of the syrup. There. Awesome. And then, so today we're using Tito's vodka because come on, it's pretty good.
I know. I do love Tito's.
Right?
And I do love martinis.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm very sad that I do not get to try this. So
Yeah.
Salvi, you're gonna have to try it for me, and I will trust.
Yes.
I will trust you.
Yes. So that in there, Tito's. And you can also too, I mean, you know, if it's been a rough day, add a little bit more vodka. To each their own. Again, no judgment here. Perfect. And then this is going to be half and half. We're using half and half to make it a little bit more creamy since we're not using too much. So this is only going to be an ounce of this guy.
So if you're a non-dairy person, what is a substitute for?
You can
half
use
half?
anything. You can use oat milk. Coconut cream is a substitute
coconut
that we
cream, yeah.
use here for half and half because it's a little thicker in
Yeah,
texture.
yeah.
But we would probably choose oat. We're all kind of obsessed
Yeah.
with oat
You
here.
guys are on the
so-
oat
And
train,
it's the
huh?
Yeah.
same thing too. It literally is as creamy as like
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
literally
And I would
perfect.
go with a little more oat. So, you know, if you're going to use an ounce of half and half, I would use 2 ounces of oat
Okay.
Yeah,
instead.
for sure. Perfect.
And that's the espresso.
This is the espresso. Yeah, so we're going to add the
Nice.
espresso to it. Perfect. All right, and that should be everything. Awesome. And you shake it.
Very pretty glass.
Thank you. Yeah. It's one of my favorites as well. This is kind of just to like chill it, but you're not actually going to use it with the ice, of course.
Use a strainer
This is like
here.
a super fancy strainer as well.
Oh, wow.
Right? Mm-hmm. Fill all the way to the top.
Looks like a dessert.
Perfect.
It's so
Right?
good.
And too, if you have
Yes.
whipped cream, you could always add a little dollop of whipped cream.
Oh,
yes.
As well, yeah.
Amazing
Same
with whipped
thing,
cream.
A little sugar. There you are. Salpi.
I think I'm gonna let you try that
Me?
one. Go ahead.
you?
Yes.
No, please.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
It's your own creation. Got to.
It is. You guys.
I'm just over here envious.
I know, right?
Oh my god, it's so good.
I'll try it in
Just,
January. I'll come back in and say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
teach me.
And it's really good too. Again, you can always like make it strong with vodka. The recipe that we have, I really like it because it's the perfect amount where like you know there's vodka in there, but you still taste the pumpkin.
Yeah.
And that's also why I really like to use the nutmeg on top because it gives that little spice. It's really spicy. It's still very fall, so you still feel like it's like a comfort drink type thing. And yeah, it's always perfect. Like you can make it at home. You can even bring it, you know, for like a girls' night out or with boys. You know,
Yeah.
never mind. But yeah, it's super good. It's definitely one of my favorites, and whipped cream on top can never go wrong. So
Yeah.
super good.
I feel like it would almost be even good too with bourbon, because bourbon has
Oh,
that
yes.
like mapley kind of taste.
Oh, yeah.
For
like,
sure.
Oh yeah.
Maybe just put over ice or
Yeah.
such.
Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah.
do like an ounce of bourbon, 2 ounces of the pumpkin syrup,
Yeah.
an ounce of half and half. It'd be sort of like a Kahlua cream sort of thing
Yeah.
Oh my
on the
gosh,
rocks.
so
Pumpkin
good.
Russian
Yeah.
almost.
Oh,
like-
exactly.
yes. That sounds amazing.
Make our own little thing
that sounds
here. I
amazing.
love it.
Exactly.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
ladies,
of course.
so much
you.
for walking us through this. So I have to ask, you know, towards the end here, what are your favorite drinks here? So we see all the pumpkin stuff,
yes.
but what are your favorite drinks?
Well, let's see. They're my favorite drinks, and then there are customer favorites. So,
Let's hear both.
okay, so my number one all-time favorite, can't get enough, is our L'Orange Cappuccino.
Okay.
And it's basically orange zest with a little bit of cinnamon, homemade vanilla syrup, with a double shot of espresso. I love it with oat milk. I love it iced. That's kind of my daily obsession. That's my thing. But some other popular ones would be like the banana bread. I think the banana bread's our number one drink on the menu.
It is so good. I can
And-
verify.
Yeah, you like that one.
Yeah.
Okay, you can drink milk then. You
Yeah.
can drink whole milk? Okay. Yeah, so that's the only one where we use whole milk in that, and we literally blend bananas, cinnamon, honey, and we shake it up with with our Holsem blend cold brew. Amazing. It's like your banana smoothie in the morning, like your
Yeah.
banana smoothie and your coffee mixed together in the morning.
Oh, yum.
Amazing. And I would say our number 2 drink on the menu is probably our Nutella. That one is made with, again, our homemade vanilla syrup, a chocolate syrup using Valrhona chocolate, which is a really
good.
amazing
Yeah.
French
So
chocolate.
good.
Yeah, the best
So
chocolate
good.
in the world, I think. Cold brew, and we now make it with oat milk, and we shake it up so it's nice and creamy and frothy. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. What about yours?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's literally the hardest question. We have
Yeah.
so many
I
customers
know.
always they're like, "What's your favorite drink?" And I'm like, "Do you have 5 minutes? 12
Yeah.
minutes? You know?"
What are you
Yeah.
feeling like today?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
I
always
get
the
that.
question too. Like, do you want espresso? Do you want cold brew? Do you want ice? Do you want hot? Like, what do you
Yeah.
want? But for me, I really love the lemon meringue cold brew. It's so refreshing, especially in the summertime. And that one is so good because it's a fresh lemon grind, so it's not like a syrup type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're like a kind of you just drink black cold brew, then this one's really good because it has a good majority of cold brew, lemon grind with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of thyme, which a lot of people are like questionable about, but it goes so well with the lemon. And then we muddle that with a little bit of hot water to melt the sugar, shake it with oat milk for me, or you can do with half and half, Randy. And then you just shake it up and it's super good, super refreshing. You get like a fresh lemon grind on top, so it's really nice. And then the Woods latte, which of course
Yes.
has maple.
Yes.
It's so good. That one comes
Yeah.
with nutmeg, a little bit of sea salt. And actually that one already comes with oat milk, which is probably why it's one of my favorites.
This
And
is like an
then-
oat milk commercial.
Seriously,
You got it.
honestly,
Right?
Califia, call me.
Califia.
Oh, sponsor us.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Hi. But yeah, so that one's my other favorite. And that one I really like to do hot because it's like a very
Yeah.
comfort drink with like the nutmeg. And I'm a fall gal, so it's definitely like we always have it on the menu. So even if it's like in the summertime, I still feel like it's October. So it's really nice.
Awesome. Well, I heard some of your favorite
Yes,
drinks.
yes.
Now, I do know that when I walked in, I was able to order a golden latte, a dirty
Oh,
golden latte.
yes.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys tell us about your fall menu?
Yes, actually, the fall menu Mariah created, and I'm very proud of my little protege. She came up with this amazing menu, everything you could possibly want. You know, all of these items. The golden dirty latte was one that we've had in the past, and we decided to bring it back, but we put Mariah's twist on it, and it's got everything you want: turmeric, ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon. We make it with maple syrup, and it's just a little bit of coconut oil. The coconut oil makes it
so creamy.
That's kind of the game changer in that drink, is that coconut oil. That's a secret ingredient.
So good.
And you can get it dirty. You can get it not dirty if you like, but the way we serve it and offer it is with a double shot of espresso. It's just everything you want in fall. You know, it's spicy, it's heartwarming, it's, you know, just comforting.
Yeah.
You know? And you can get it with decaf espresso.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I'm still drinking
you-
I go back to my two.
If you've already had all
To
your
each his
coffee
own.
in the
Yeah,
day.
exactly. I know.
Yeah.
Just drinking all this coffee and I come home and be like, wow.
Yes. Yeah, and on
then-
that
Yeah,
menu
that's
too,
like us.
my favorite is the autumn one, which is with oatmeal.
Okay.
And so that one's our autumn oatmeal
yes.
latte. So that one's like our super fun one on the
very
menu that we
special.
have right now. And it's kind of like the idea to have your breakfast with your espresso. And like oatmeal is so perfect because it's like warm, cozy. Of course, you always put like honey, cinnamon on it. So that one we do with our autumn syrup, and it's basically just like brown sugar and vanilla. And we do that with espresso and then a little bit of cooked oats. And then we mix that, so like actual oatmeal, and then we stir that together, and then we do, so it already has the espresso in it, and then steamed milk, which you can do it iced. You can still do it iced because it'll come through the straw. But basically you drink your latte, and then towards the end, you just grab a spoon and you can eat your oatmeal, or even as you're drinking it, you get a little bit of oatmeal.
It's very
It's super
good.
fun,
It's so
right?
good.
It's really
Yes. I have to give some credit to Pinterest. I did find on it. But it was super fun, and we found like the right recipe. We created the autumn syrup, so that was really fun. So that one's my favorite on that one as well. Yeah,
Awesome.
on the fall menu.
And I think it's actually become the #1
it
drink on the
has.
holiday
It's
menu.
really popular.
Well, now
Yeah.
I have to come back. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my
Darn.
gosh, all this I know. I'm
Darn.
going to
And
go through the
caffeinated.
whole menu
Yeah.
in this next couple of weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you, ladies, so
Thank
much
you.
for walking us through this. I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
make some of these at home.
Yes.
Hopefully, you guys are drinking your drinks right now. Maybe some of you mid cold brew are like, oh, I'm going to put some vodka in mine too.
Yeah,
so I guess
exactly.
it's happy hour time.
That's a really
right?
good idea.
3 o'clock.
Hey,
Yeah.
no freaking judgment. You know, you can
Exactly.
use whatever vodka you want.
I
It's
love
true.
it.
In the party pack, you get enough syrup to make 3 or 4 drinks. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
you're good.
Yeah.
You can make them all.
Well, thank you so much
Thank you.
Yes.
for being with me today
Thank you.
and walking me through. Hopefully you guys are going to tune in to our next one, which is with Bivouac Cider Works, where we're going to be trying some awesome ciders and some charcuterie cheeses. So hopefully you can purchase your kits. You can go to explorenorthpark.com to purchase them. And I'll see you the rest of the month. Thanks.
Thank you.
Invited to that.